time. Everyone is busy. So good morning for our Brazilian participants and good afternoon to our Wallon or European participants. I am Julie Dumont. I am scientific attaché for WBI, Wallonie-Bruxelles International in Brazil. Wallonie-Bruxelles International is the international relations department of French-speaking Belgium. And I work there for the Research and Innovation department with the aim to foster scientific collaboration between Brazilian and Wallon participants. So I have the pleasure to present you this webinar that will introduce you to funding opportunities through CORNET and IRA SMEs programs. And we can count, I have the pleasure to count with the participation of a representative from Embrapii, which is Wallonia's partner within these calls, representative from Wallonia, from the SPWAAR, IRA SMEs projects program, CORNET, and we also have some participants, speakers from AAN, that will introduce you on how they can help you to find partners. So there will be a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. We will address a few of them. So please ask your questions in the chat so we can take them on later. Please keep your microphone closed. This session is recorded. The videos and slides will be available on WBI website and also on demand. And I think that's it. We can start. We will start with Jenny Goodlatte introducing the IRA SMEs funding model. Jenny, the floor is yours.
Merci, and thank you, Julie, for the invitation today. I'm very happy to be here. To tell you a bit more about funding opportunities that IRA SME makes available. So, and there we go. So warm greetings from Berlin, by the way, that's where I am based at. My name is Jenny Goodlatte. I am currently the main coordinator of the IRA SME initiative and network. And so I'm also happy to see my colleague Thierry here and also Sophia and Clarissa of the CORNET networks. And Anna, of course, my new colleague at Embrapii. And now let me first, tell you exactly what IRA SME, this acronym actually stands for. It means International Research Activities by Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. And so as the name suggests, IRA SME goal is actually to support consortia of companies, mainly really SMEs, and also research and technology organizations in their joint efforts to innovate together and basically to bridge the gap between scientific research on the one hand and actual marketable innovations on the other hand. Now, IRA SME actually is not a funding program itself, but it is rather an initiative or a network of ministries and funding agencies in different countries and regions. Our goal is to synchronize our national existing funding schemes and programs that we already have in our countries and regions and which are well established and working, and to make them available to foster transnational research and development projects. So it's an initiative to combine the national funding schemes and make them available for transnational projects. For you as applicants in Brazil and in Belgium and anywhere else, this means that your national and regional funding conditions that your country or region offers is binding for you. Yeah, that's always very important that you make sure that you are informed about the national conditions that apply to you. Now, the coordination office for the IRA SME network is based at AIF Projekt GmbH here in Berlin. and is financially supported by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action, or in short, BMWK. You will probably see this acronym as well on our IRSME website. So just to make sure you understand a bit the structure of this initiative that IRSME is. Now, who are the partners in our network? As you can see, of course, we have Brazil, represented by Embrapii, and then Wallonia in Belgium, represented by the Service de Wallonie. And both countries and regions are in good company. As you can see, we also have Alberta and Canada, the province of Alberta, as a partner. We have Austria in our network, the Czech Republic, Germany as well, Luxembourg and Turkey, and of course the second region in Belgium, which is Flanders. Now, originally or usually also Russia is part of our initiative. As you know and understand currently, we had to come to the joint decision to suspend Russia's activities, or FASI's activities in the network for the time being. But hopefully one day they'll be able to join our joint calls for proposals again. So what kind of projects actually does IRSME support? So we're looking for projects that develop either new or at least significantly improve existing products, but basically develop new products, processes or technical services. So this is, we follow a bottom-up approach, which means that you as applicants, you as entrepreneurs or researchers decide which topic it is that you want to pursue, which kind of innovation it is that will bring your company forward and allow you to open new markets and just to make your company more viable. So you choose the topic, and the participating countries and organizations will hopefully then fund it. So we fund developments up to prototype level, which roughly corresponds to TRL 4 to 7. And what's also important is that every partner in a project has significant technical risks in their tasks or in their development tasks, basically, your sub-projects. And of course, so there's the scientific or the innovation side of things, the technological side that must be convincing in your projects, but also you must show that your innovation has a high market potential. So at the end of your project, you'll be hopefully able to sell your new product or to actually use it for your company's profits. So that's equally important.
Jenny, just one comment. We can see your presentation. I'm not sure you wanted to share it or not.
Oh, you don't
go ahead.
See it?
No,
oh, sorry. No. Of course I wanted to share it. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. There we go. So once again, just to have this overview of all our countries and regions. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was not actually sharing it. But here we go. So the main important things for you to know now is how do we do it? So we organize 2 calls for proposals per year. The deadlines are always end of March and end of September. So that's a very regular interval. Which means that actually the next call is going to be opened soon. It's already the 30th call within our network. It'll open at the beginning of June and then have its deadline on the 28th of September. Now this time Alberta and Austria will not be able to join this call. This happens sometimes. Not all the partners are always part of the calls, but hopefully then next year we will have, well, everyone on board again. So we can already look a bit ahead and see that the 31st call would have then its deadline at the end of March in 2023, of course. What you need as applicants, what you need to provide is that on the one hand, the IRSME application form, we have a separate dedicated form, and then of course your national application forms, which are even more important because that's the one the evaluation is based on. And you find information on the national funding criteria on our website, ira-sme.net, and each country has their own section there and some information. So this is a short overview of the application form for IRSME. That's a relatively short one where all the partners just give a bit of their details and a short description of their project. And it's important to list all your work packages as well. There's also a form for a letter of intent included that everybody needs to sign. So that's really the short and easy part, I'd say. And usually the more well, elaborate work needs to be put in the national applications, where you will lay out in all your detail what it is that you want to create and share also specific company details. Now, a typical IRSME project well, has roughly 2 to 6 participants, in this case from Brazil and Wallonia, of course. Usually the minimum constellation is always 2 SMEs from 2 different IRSME member countries, and research and technology organizations are allowed to act as additional partners or subcontractors according to each country's rules. In Brazil, of course, we have Embrapii as our network partner, so it's important that every Brazilian company that wants to establish a collaboration with the Belgium SME also has an Embrapii unit on board and work together with them. So what we sometimes see, of course, is not every application is successful, and the most common reasons for weak proposals are a lack of knowledge of your national funding criteria and or a lack of time to write an acceptable project plan. And both pitfalls can easily be avoided if you make sure that you contact your national and regional funding organizations in time. And of course, to maybe not to rush things, but since we offer 2 calls per year, you have sort of the security and the safety to know, okay, if I don't actually can make it to this deadline, maybe then I just choose to participate in the next call and make sure that I prepare a proper and thorough application. And you find, again, the contact details of your national and regional funding agency on the IRSME website. You have Ana Arroyo's contact details on the Brazil page, and of course Thierry Lemoine's contact details on the page for Wallonia. And you can also contact me or my colleagues here at the IRSME Coordination Office by email or phone. Also, you can also subscribe to our IRSM newsletter if you like. We will always announce new calls or news, you know, of our network partners. So feel free to sign up for that as well and get some information on upcoming webinars and events as well. Yeah, one kind of event I'd like to particularly point out as an opportunity to actually find collaboration partners is our joint IRSME and CORNET partnering events, which we will hopefully soon be able to actually have on site at some of our network members' locations. For the past 2 years, we've done it virtually, which also works quite well. So keep an eye out for that. That's an opportunity to, you know, to meet other companies or researchers in order to perhaps set up a project either through the IRSME funding channel or CORNET funding. So here again, our contact details and the team here at AIF always at your disposal for general questions about IRSME. So Thank you again, and sorry for not sharing all the slides. But as Julie said, it will be available afterwards.
Thank you very much, Jenny. It was crystal clear, and I hope our participants will have enough time to prepare the next call. Otherwise, it will be the next one. Now I have the pleasure to invite Sophia Susan now to present the CORNET funding model. Sophia, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, yeah, my colleague is just sharing the screen. I hope you can see it. Thank you very much for the invitation. My pleasure to be here with you today. Yeah, so good afternoon, or I don't know, good morning to everyone. My name is Sophia Now. I'm part of the CORNET coordination team at BAFA, the Federal Office for Economic Affairs and Export Control in Germany. And I would like to give you a quick overview of the CORNET network. We are actually IRA SME's partner network. So we have a lot of similarities, but also some differences, of course. The main difference probably being that CORNET is pre-competitive, meaning that we do not help develop products itself, but rather CORNET is a network to get together for research and gain common knowledge of specific topics that are relevant for the branches or your field of interest. So today I will tell you about what or who CORNET is, whom it is for, the criteria that have to be met in order to submit a proposal, how you can benefit from CORNET, and some organizational data. So on the next slide, yes, thank you. You can see who CORNET is. It's a network of funding organizations, and you can see here the list of our current members. Embrapii and SPW are two of them. And these members fund projects in their own countries or regions. So within the CORNET network, national funding organizations from different countries or regions can interact to carry out a project together with a partner from another country. So that's what synchronized funding means. The major benefit, therefore, is that you can start an international project with partners from abroad and use your own national or regional funding that you might already be familiar with. CORNET as a network, as IRA SME, doesn't offer money for research itself, but the regional funding organizations do with their own programs. Each organization brings their own national or regional budget and their own rules. So in the best case, you have a partner from another country with whom you want to do a project, and they get funded in by their regional organization, and you get funded by yours. If you want to carry out a project with a partner that is not yet a member of CORNET, so a partner that is not represented in this list, that's also possible. We can start pilot projects with new potential partners. The network is always open to new funding organizations worldwide. So if you find yourself in this place, just contact us and we will try to organize the funding. Okay, so now who is CORNET actually for? Who can benefit from CORNET? First and foremost, small and medium-sized enterprises benefit from CORNET, as they are usually not able to maintain their own research facilities or laboratories, and they don't receive the funding themselves, but their ideas and questions guide the specific research projects. So in this context, SMEs work together they might be from the same branch or different branches, and they work together in order to generate knowledge that will help develop their industrial sector. Another benefiter are SME organizations. They are organizations with SME members that represent the needs and the needs of SME in their relevant sector, and they have an interest in the innovation and growth of their members. So examples of such organizations are associations, federations, or clusters. For the projects, they also serve as the connection between the SME and the research organizations. They will, at the end, distribute the results of the project, and they are very important as they represent not only the SME involved in one project, which are usually not that many, but the whole sector or branch. And of course, you can also benefit as a research organizations who carries out the research, and who the research organizations are the ones who get the funding for implementing the research. Okay, so how can you apply for funding? At first, of course, you need a relevant topic that is interesting for a specific field or an industrial sector, and any branch, field, or sector works. So there are in general no thematic restrictions. You need to involve at least 2 countries, and the partners from the countries need to receive their funding from a national organization. So they both need to receive their own funding. Furthermore, you need at least 5 SME per country. That means at least 10 SME are involved in one project. But of course, more can be involved. Depending on the national funding recommendations, you might need more than 5. So please check with your funding and organization in advance. Once you have reached the minimum requirement of SME, you can, of course, also team up with a larger company. You also need a research institute in every involved country who carries out the research. And you need an SME organization that usually supports the SME in their sector and country. Now, if you have checked off all these requirements, you can submit the proposal. So now that you know whom CORNET is for and how interested organizations can apply for funding, you can see here on the next slide, yes, the top benefits of CORNET. CORNET is bottom-up and thematically open, which means that the search for interesting and relevant topics and the implementation of the research is guided by SME, by those who will, in the end, benefit from it and who have industry-specific knowledge. With one funded project, more than 10 SME involved can benefit because the results will be shared at the end. CORNET has now been operating for 17 years, so it's experienced and reliable with 2 calls per year. The evaluation and network collaboration procedures have proven to be effective. And lastly, being part of the network does not cost anything, as BMWK, Jenny already said it, the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action in Germany covers the network coordination costs. So as I already mentioned, there are 2 calls per year. The next deadlines for already the 34th and 35th call are the 28th of September and the 29th of March next year, respectively. So once the next call is open, which in the case of CORNET will probably be at the beginning of July, you can find the current CORNET application documents on the website. The documents for the 33rd call are still online if you want to have a look. However, please use the updated version for each call when submitting a proposal, which will, as I said, be available as soon as the call is open. The documents for your local funding, you can receive those documents from your respective organization. The main application has to be submitted via our submission tool on cornet.online. It's not possible to submit it via email. So please use the submission tool, and also, please use the English language in your documents. Furthermore, you also need to submit complementary documents to your national or regional funding organizations, which, as I said, you can get from your organization. Okay, so if you want to have more information, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us here at BAFA. My colleague Clarissa and I will gladly answer all of your questions. And of course, you can also visit our website, cornet.online. You will find lots of information about Cornet and also on our partners on that site. So, of course, also the contact details from Embrapii and SPW can be found here. Although I have to add, we just relaunched our website, so there's still some kind of transition going on. And I think that we have not yet been able to update Embrapii's page. So I think Denise might still be there to be found, but we will quickly or hopefully soon be able to change that so that you, Anna, or your contact details will be on our website. Yeah, okay, so that's it for a quick overview. Thank you very much. And I get back to you, Julie.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sophia. Just a quick reminder for the question and answers. Don't hesitate to ask your questions in the chat, and then we will answer at the end of the webinar. And also regarding the update of the contacts, you will have closing slides with the contacts for both Embrapii and the Wallon region at the end of the webinar as well. So everything is settled on this side. And now I have the pleasure to welcome Anna Hoyo, who will present the Embrapii system. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Julie. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today, this morning, this afternoon. I'd like to especially thank Julie and Thierry for hosting this webinar, my colleagues from IRSMI and Cornet also. And yes, I will, Sophie, definitely update the page as soon as possible, many details. I will share my presentation to speak a little bit about the Embrapii model. Can you see my screen? Julie,
yes, perfectly. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sure that half of the participants might be from Brazil. They perhaps already know this, so bear with me a little bit. I will be a bit quick so we can have a good Q&A session at the end. So Embrapii is very new. We've been in existence for 7, almost 8 years, with the goal of supporting companies in the development of innovation, increasing the competitiveness of companies in Brazil and in international markets. We are very focused on business demands. To have an Embrapii project, there must be a company that demands the project. It's very quick, flexible, and agile. We have contracts that are signed between Embrapii units and participating companies in 20 days. So it's a model that really is very fast. And the idea is to share the risk and cost of investing in industrial innovation. So we enter with some part of the resources necessary for the project. I will explain this further on. And the idea is to attract private investment in innovation in R&D. What is an Embrapii unit? Both Sophie and Jenny spoke about Embrapii units, which necessarily must be part of any international calls. An Embrapii unit is a network of selected applied research centers. So we select at Embrapii in Brasilia, the headquarters, we select some research centers that can prove to us that they have technical excellence, they have a strong technological focus and capabilities. So they are accredited as an Embrapii unit on one specific technological capability. They show to us that they have expertise in collaboration with companies. They have good project management skills. They have to manage a portfolio of innovation projects. They have to show us that they are very agile. They can hire contracted projects very quickly. They know how to negotiate with companies. To be an Embrapii unit, they go through a very competitive selective process, and they become an Embrapii unit for several years upon evaluation by Embrapii, usually for a period of 6 years. Currently, there are 76 Embrapii units all over Brazil. I will not explain this map in detail, but this is mainly to show that they are accredited for a specific technological competence. So for example, I see that biomass is with us here today. In Mato Grosso do Sul, there's this Embrapii unit, biomass transformation. So this unit receives resources to contract projects with companies in the technological competence area of biomass transformation. It cannot have a project, for example, in intelligent systems unless it is related to biomass transformation. And they have money at the Embrapii unit for this R&D project in biomass transformation. So in 7 years of operation, we've had almost 2,000 major R&D projects supported with 1,500 companies, more or less. This shows that companies keep coming back. The Embrapii projects are very good. So we have companies that have 30 projects with Embrapii, 15 projects. They return for more projects once they go through the learning curve of how to have a project with an Embrapii. So over 2 billion reais invested in innovation projects, according to the Embrapii model, where a third comes from Brasilia, from me, from the Embrapii support to the R&D unit and the project. This is very important. Embrapii participation is not for the company. I have to repeat this. We don't, in Embrapii, we don't fund companies. This is different from many other models, funding models, where the money is applied directly to the small company or even to large companies in some models. In Embrapii, no, we only fund the Embrapii unit and the project. So when a company has a project with an Embrapii unit, they open a bank account where the milestones, the financial milestones of the project are deposited by the company and by the Embrapii unit up until the full amount during the project duration. So if a company has a project that lasts for 12 months, 1 year, you will have milestones. For example, 3 milestones during the project. When you begin the project, each part deposits in the balance, in the account, the amount that was agreed between the Embrapii unit and the company. So the next milestone, both parties also put the next amount, deposit the next amount of the project that was agreed, and the final amount at the end of 12 months. So this really reduces the risk for the company. You're not paying upfront for a project. It is agreed during the milestones. Around 50% of the financial cost of the project is borne by the companies, around 180 million reais, and 18% of the financial resources are paid in by the Embrapii units. Usually the counterpart of the Embrapii unit is in kind, is in intangible, not financial. Over 1,000 projects have been concluded, and around 676 industrial property rights obtained. The IPR rights are negotiated between the Embrapii unit and the firm. This is very important. To be clear, Embrapii in Brasilia, we don't request any kind of IPR, but the Embrapii units sometimes do. This varies according to the project and according to the unit. So this must be negotiated between parties. How do we work in international cooperation? It's very important to say that the Embrapii model follows, we maintain the Embrapii model during the project. So, for example, in Embrapii, there are no forms to submit. The Embrapii unit doesn't have to submit a form. They already have the money. The resources for the project are in the Embrapii unit, and they will simply have a contract with the company. As in the International Cooperation Project, there will be a form to be submitted. Both CORNET and IRSME have forms to submit. This will be the responsibility of the international partner. They will have to fill out the form and submit to the funding agencies in Germany. However, this has to be done very closely, in close collaboration with the Brazilian company and the Brazilian Embrapii unit. So they discuss the project, they discuss what the project will be, and then they talk with the international company, and in many cases, also the International Research Center. This also varies country to country. Some countries demand that there be an international country-based research center, others don't. So each one has to discuss this. Some items that are important to remember: the international partnerships that are currently open. InnoSwiss, we have a call with Switzerland that closes on the 15th. Global Stars has just opened with 6 countries: Belgium, Finland, Holland, Portugal, Turkey, and Spain. And the CORNET and the IRSME calls, we hope that they will open next week or sometime in June, correct, Sophie and Jenny? How do you identify the Embrapii unit? So the company has to talk with the representative of the Embrapii unit. This is fully up to the company if they want to go ahead with that unit or not. Our website is very friendly. So you have, it's in English, and you have an area where you have the Embrapii units, and it's very clearly described what their technological competence is. So I really suggest that all companies here that want to pursue projects have a look at the site, peruse the site, but we can also help matchmaking. And this is very quick. All I need is an email. My email contact is at the end of this presentation. You send me an email, 1 sentence saying what the project is. I can talk to you a little bit more to understand this. We don't have to sign an NDA, confidentiality agreement. This is a very initial kind of matchmaking. And I will put you in touch with the Embrapii unit that might help you. In order to identify an international partner company, both Jenny and Sophie have spoken about how they can help to matchmake with international partners. The European Enterprise Network platform is also very helpful. And as I mentioned before, the intellectual property depends on the project negotiation. So very briefly, how do you find a partner? You follow the open call. You look for the company, both the Brazilian and the international company. You find the ideal Embrapii unit. Then you discuss the technological challenge with them. You don't discuss this with me because, as I said previously, we don't approve projects. The Embrapii units have the technological competence to know whether the project is good or not. And in the Embrapii model, we believe that if the company is actually going to pay for the project because they have to put money into the project, then the project is good enough. It is an appropriate technological project. So we don't submit forms and we don't evaluate the projects, but the international partners do evaluate the projects. So this has to be discussed very closely with your partner. And then you submit the project for the international partner, to the international partner. So just to repeat once more, in the Embrapii model, we don't need to wait for an open call. At any moment, the company, international companies, Brazilian companies can meet an Embrapii unit and develop a project together. The requirement is that the company pays taxes in Brazil. It has to have a productive base in Brazil. This is the only requirement. The international call is just to make it easier. You have an institutional legal framework that helps the international companies also to navigate the R&D project. But always Embrapii rules apply. So just to finish up, a quick examples of some projects, one with IRSME, with the Embrapii unit IBMP, which looked at microtechnology for diagnostics. And there's a Brazilian company, which in this case is Biomanguinhos. There are 3 small German companies. I believe these are all German companies, and also foreign research centers involved in this project. Also, one project from CORNET. Actually 2 projects approved in the last call. I think that this is 2021. So one with Embrapii unit IPT, which is in São Paulo, and one with Senai. There are many Senais all over Brazil. And so you have here a German partner, which is Fraunhofer Institute, and 9 Brazilian and German small and medium companies. This is actually in Portuguese, sorry. And also one more from, actually this was the previous call. This was the 31st. This was the last call, the 32nd, where we have one project also with the Sinai Institute of Innovation, LASER, with many Brazilian companies, as you can see, and partners. And also, and actually this is an interesting model because you have also Embrapii unit, more than one Embrapii unit. EFSC is also an Embrapii unit. You have the Federation of Industries that is involved, many companies, and the same thing on the German side. So this is just a small sampling of some companies that have projects in the last, have developed projects with Embrapii in international cooperation. This is very new. We've been working in international cooperation projects for maybe 4 or 5 years. My colleague Denise was ahead of this. She has left Embrapii, as many of you know. This is very sad, but she had private motives to leave. And we hope to increase this collaboration hugely. So we count on all of you, firms and Embrapii units that are here today to support us and to submit your projects. Thank you very much. Julie and I return.
Thank you very much, Anna. It's a pleasure to have you today and to have a reminder of how Embrapii works. It's such a efficient and flexible tool, and I hope we will have many projects to further develop together. And now I have the pleasure to welcome Thierry Lemoine, representing the Wallon region and how it works there.
Thank you,
Thierry,
Julie.
the floor is yours.
Thank you, Julie. Can you hear me? Is it okay with the sound?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
thank
yes.
you. So good afternoon or good morning, everybody. So I'm in charge of international relations in the SPW research department. So I will briefly present you our, let's say, our organization, but mostly I will emphasize to some, let's say, key points, I think, to let's say to launch good projects in the 2 programs already presented by the coordination teams of IRA, SME, and CORNET. So first of all, you have to know that we are both owner and managers of the program. So we are, let's say, in Wallonia, the only funding body for, let's say, applied research. And we are involved in both programs quite since the beginning, with, let's say, much more projects, I have to say, in CORNET than IRA SME, because, let's say, collaboration research, it's much more, let's say, they have, let's say, other programs involved in that matters. That's not the same in CORNET, because CORNET is collective research, and it is the only program devoted to this type of research. I want also, first of all, to emphasize that these 2 programs are, let's say, a very good opportunity for both research bodies in Brasilia and in Belgium to work together, because as it has been said, is that we know each other, let's say, funding research bodies very well, and we are working together since a lot of time. So let's say all the system is very clear and very practical, and it's very good opportunity to work together in a very secure framework for the research bodies, both in Belgium and in Brazil. Concerning CORNET, I have to say that only agreed research centers, centres de recherche agréés in Wallonia, must be considered as partners. Very good to know. But of course, Wallon partners know that, but I want to emphasize once again this, they can't be associated with university or haute école, high schools, but let's say the main partner have to be an agreed research center in Wallonia. We also, I would also emphasize the fact that very important for us is the famous user committee in the projects. At least 5 SMEs must be involved in this user committee. Very important for us to have a good project in the framework of this program. Concerning IRA SME, as the name indicated, it is of course focused on SMEs. So we have to have at least 1 SMEs as a Walloon partner, but also other SMEs. You can have 2 or 3 SMEs, of course, and also you can have 1 research center. Once again, the Centre de Recherche agréé can be involved also in the Walloon consortia. It's a kind of quality project for those who knows our programs. To end with, of course, to find partners in Brazil or in Wallonia. Of course, you have the program, the platform programs. You have also EN, which will take the floor just after me, and also the NCP National Contact Points Wallonia, which was together with EN, and of course us as the ministry. You can let's say call us just to have a first idea of the eligibility of your project. And to end with, as already said by the 2 coordinators of the program, I think is the best way to be secure to secure, let's say, your project is to present it to us ideally 1 year before the deadline of the calls. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Thierry. Now I have the pleasure to invite Márcio Canedo and Vincent Van Brussegem to present EEN, which is a platform allowing you to find partners, as Thierry just mentioned. Thierry and Márcio, the floor is yours.
Oh, hi, Julie. Thank you very much for introducing us. I'm sorry for any technical problem because I'm not in my house or in my office. I'm in my parents' house at the moment. So please, I think Vincent can start because he has the presentation. So please, Vincent, if you could, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon or good morning. Thank you, Julie, for your invitation to present our network. Do you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Vincent Van Brussegem. I am the coordinator of the activities of the Enterprise Europe Network, or also EN or EN in Belgium for the Walloon region. And together with Márcio from EBIC, who is coordinator from EN in Brazil, we will present you briefly our network, the EN in Belgium, in Wallonia and Brazil, and also what we can do for the international partnership support. So about the network, the Enterprise Europe Network is a network whose members are not companies, but companies and especially SMEs are the main beneficiaries of the service that we provide in the framework of the network. The member or the partners of the network are indeed business support organizations with a large variety of types: university, chamber of commerce, agencies for innovation, promoting export, business federation, and so on. The network has been created and is partly funded by the European Commission. It exists now for nearly 15 years. And by the end of last year, it gathered more than 600 partners in more than 60 countries. The network is geographically organized in consortia covering regions or countries. In Belgium, there are 3 consortia, one for Flanders, one for Brussels region, and one for Wallonia. And only one consortium is running for Brazil. And in general, we have 3 types of consortia: those operating in the European Union or in associated countries funded by the Commission, and the international partners which are not funded by the Commission, but have, however, to comply with the rules of the network. It's important to point out that since the beginning of this year, the network has entered a new phase, aiming to transform it into a renewed network with new consortia, new partners, and also new tools. The objective is to obtain a network giving even more impact to its clients by increasing the network effect, which is the capacity of the partners to work together. The price to pay for this transformation, however, is that things are always running slower than we wish, and that we have to accept a lower period of uncertainty. Some of the tools that we had in the past have not yet been renewed today, but we hope to be fully operational after the summer break of this year. The EN provides support services to SMEs with the following characteristic. What I present is the European point of view, and Marcio will complete if needed. Services have to be either a new European or a network added value. They have to be complementary to the already existing and well integrated in the offer existing in the region or in the country, not to duplicate things that already exist. And we propose for that purpose, we propose 2 levels of services, which are either basic services, only providing information to our clients and signposting them to the source of the right information, or advanced services, which are dedicated to the most promising SMEs and aim to generate added value and impact. We propose individual tailor-made advisory as well as international partnerships support services. All these services are provided free of charge. And clearly, services that we provide around international partnership will remain and are the flagship of the services of the network. The network can deal with all kinds of topics in terms of advisory services, all kinds of topics, since they have a link with both companies, SMEs, and Europe. We focus on innovation and internationalization, including new topics that are sustainability, digitization, and resilience. In Wallonia, the consortium is brand new since the beginning of this year. And so we have entered a partnership with 3 organizations, mine, which is avec, the Walloon Trade Promotion Agency, which is the coordinator of the network, Walfin, it's a kind of public bank providing loans to SMEs, but Walfin is also in charge of a large part of the organization of the public support to Walloon SMEs in terms of creation, innovation, and sustainability, by example. The Union Wallonne des Entreprises hosts the national contact point for Horizon Europe project, and the NCP is funded by the Walloon authorities. Each of the partners covers the whole region and proposes its own range of services in line with the core business of its own organizations. And we work in complementarity with all the relevant partners in the region. In terms of specializations, the AWEX deals mainly with internationalization, European regulation, business partnership and sourcing, and we work also in close collaboration with the WBI, international network, to whom Julie belongs. So Walfin deals with matters like innovation, sustainability, and transmission, with a focus on the intellectual property rights, the access to finance and transmissions of companies, and also the support to sustainability. And finally, the NCP deals with all the projects linked with the Europe-funded R&D, but also helps finding partners for projects like Ornet or ERA SME. So I would like now to give the floor to Marcio, who will present the yen in Brazil. Marcio, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you very much, Vincent. I have to apologize to all of you because I'm in my mobile, so I can't see the presentation quite well, and I don't have my presentation with me right now. I just left the plane an hour ago, and I got here, and I'm sorry. I will try to be as close to the presentation as I can because it's funky here. I can't see quite well. So can you see me actually? So can you hear me? It's okay?
We can hear you perfectly. We are running a bit ahead of time, so if you can...
Okay, sure. I'll just explain to you that. So let me be very fast. And EN Brazil is a consortium, as Vincent emphasized before. So we are a consortium of 10 members. It's the only consortium in Brazil. And the Brazilian Institute of Information and Science and Technology, my institute, IBICT, that is part of the Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation, is the coordinator in Brazil. So we have Embrapii and Apex and AccessPro and very important associations from the private and the public sector members of this consortium. And we have as well, we cover all the countries. So Brazil is a huge country, as you know. So we are going to have in the second semester 5 focal points for EN. Right now we have only 1, but now that we have the approval from EN headquarters in Brussels, we are going to have 5 more with our partners. So we have last year 35 partnership agreements signed. So we have been assisting a lot of SMEs in Brazil. And actually we assist in Brazil every kind of company. We focus on SMEs, but we can also assist the big ones if they need something from us, because our, let's say, how we categorize SMEs in Brazil is a little bit different from Europe. So that's why we have everyone participating. And we participate in a lot of international calls, just like this one. And I want to thank Julie and I want to thank Ana Arroyo for inviting us to participate in this specific one with Bologna and under the Carnet agreement. So thank you very much. And we also assist the Brazilian companies to participate in international events, all the events promoted by EN, mostly in Europe, in the European Union, and also in other countries that are part of our network. So we have specific innovation projects, just like this one that was presented by Julie and Thierry. So we have international, this year we are going to have this specific call with you guys from Belgium, and then we have France, Luxembourg, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland, Spain, Ukraine, and UK. So we've been very busy in Brazil with this international calls. And we also provide, I think that it was said by Vincent, but I want to make it very clear because this is very important for our clients who are here. We also provide important assistance in IP and in EU legal subjects. We have a branch of partners, both in such as law firms and consultancy services, to assist the Brazilian and European SMEs as well, and in order to provide the best service and in order to present the best projects for the international innovation calls. All right. So Vincent, I think I have one more slide if I'm not wrong, or this is the last one. I think this is this was the last one. So thank you very much. And I think that Vincent is going to continue to explain a little bit more. And my contacts, our contacts, Vincent's and mine, are in the end of this presentation. So you can contact me anytime. Brazilian companies, please do so. And we can assist you to reach the international market through the largest digital platform in the world, that is EN. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you, Marcio. Vincent, do you want to?
Yes, I have two more slides, maybe the most important of the presentation. So about the international partnerships support tools that we have. There are two kinds of tools, let's say tools. The one is the tailor-made support that we can provide to companies. So the point here is that we try to answer the needs of the company when they have identified a potential partner, by example, through our tools, but it's not required. And the other point is that we have tools. Marcio have told about the matchmaking that we organized. It's an important part of what we are doing. Matchmakings can take a variety of forms, face-to-face, virtual, hybrid. We organize at the level of the network hundreds of B2B each year. Other multilateral matchmakings, by example, in the framework of large fairs like Hanover Messe, Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, or things, fairs like that. We organized also matchmakings or ways to help companies and organizations to meet themselves during bilateral, during company missions. But we have also now setups of some permanent collaborative platform. By example, the last one is called the supply chain resilience in the framework of the war in Ukraine and supply chains that occur there. The other tool is the internal database of the network, which is called Partnering Opportunities Database, POD. Through this database, there are at least three ways to activate the database. The first one is to receive from us, in Wallonia, for the Walloon companies and organizations, specific opportunities that we can send you from all specific or prior knowledge that we have from your activities. The second one is that you register to a screening, daily or weekly screening of the database, in order to get and to receive automatically by mail the profiles that are potentially interesting for you. And the third way of using the database is to publish yourself your own search of partner. And we have a possibility to publish specific kind of profile for R&D project search of partner, as well as profile for business cooperation or for technology transfer. As I said previously, the tools are not yet fully operational at that time, but we hope that it will be the case at the beginning of September at the latest. So that's it. If you have any question, don't hesitate or coordinate, or contact details are there, both from Marcio and me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vincent. We are reaching the end of this seminar. I would like to thank all the speakers and participants for being with us today. I will now share my screen with a last slide with a reminder of our contacts. I will take two questions because we are a bit late. So I think they are both addressed to Thierry and Anna, and they are related to how far can we go with, I guess, IRA, SMA, but also CORNET programs in terms of prototyping and TRL. Those are the questions from Rafael from Mitogame and Maria Cristina Vasconcelos. Thierry, Anna, do you have any
Shall I go first? Or
comments? Yes, please go ahead.
Well, actually, I'm just going to return this question to our Embrapii units, because the Embrapii model, we operate on the TRL 3 to 6, which is the pre-competitive phase. But with resources from BNDES, we can go up to TRL 7 to 9. So this will depend on the project. The Embrapii unit will have to see if the project is within the strategic areas defined in the BNDES contract, if the project can be financed this way. So this is really a discussion that has to be carried out. It's a technological discussion that has to be carried out between the company and the Embrapii unit. They might be able to find other sources of financing. For example, Sebrae might be able to bring a little bit of money into the project if it's a small firm. So this really, you have to sit down with the Embrapii unit. And related to this, there was a question about patents and intellectual property rights. Again, this is discussed between the company and the Embrapii unit. It's a project by project decision. Okay. And you have my email, my contacts, Julie will share with you, and we can go a little bit deeper into this if you want.
Thank you very much. And Thierry, would you like to add something?
Where are the questions?
They're in the chat, but the question is...
Chat. Okay, which one?
Well, the question is, until what stage of the TRL can partners ask for funding through CORNET or IRA SME?
As already said, concerning the IRA SME program, the TRL are quite high, from 5 to 4 to 7. Correct me if I'm okay. And concerning CORNET, it's pre-competitive, so it's less TRL. So it must be collective research, but I read also one question. Does this program also cover in the education institution? Am I right?
Yeah, you can answer that too, but I was going to
concerning Wallonia, as I said, we are focused on research center. I don't know if it's also the case in Brazil, but for Wallonia, you must have an agreed research center together or not, together with one university laboratory. But the university laboratory is, let's say, on demand of the from the research center.
Okay, thank you, Thierry.
They can't, let's say, be the initiator of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So I think it's clear now. We're running a bit late. I'm sorry for that. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you for your participations and questions. I think it's clear that both programs are good for prototyping, and then they can be matched with other funding sources, which is always interesting. You have here our contact information, Thierry for Cornet and IRA-SME on the Wallon side, Ana Arroyo for Embrapii for the Brazilian side. Then you have Vincent and Marcio for the matchmaking platforms offered by AAN, and myself that can also help you identify partners and help you build your projects. So I think that's it for today. Thank you very much again. And I hope this will be a fruitful outcome in terms of projects. And we all remain at your disposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.